Hey, I'm Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California. I'll tell you something personal about myself. I love to spend time with people who are 80 years old or older. The older, the better. Why? Because with age comes wisdom. I hope you know that. And we all should be spending more time with the people who have more life lived and more wisdom. So here's the good news. With age comes wisdom. Here's the bad news. With age does not come spinal health. In fact, quite the opposite. We all know people who are over 80, maybe even over 70 or 60 or 50, who can no longer stand up straight. It's not a function of would they like to stand up straight. It's literally a function of can they stand up straight? And it's very, very unfortunate. So today, I'm going to be giving you a very, very simple exercise to help you stand up straighter and have more comfort in your back, in your hips, and possibly even in your knees. Now, all it's really going to require is a hug, but keep in mind that when it comes to yoga poses, it's always more than meets the eye. So please be sure to watch to the end of the video so that you fully understand how this is going to work for you. Keep in mind also, there are no magic bullets. Doing this one time is not going to make you stand up straight. And if you haven't been standing straight for a long time, doing it 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 times also may not make a visible difference. This is something you're going to want to do once, maybe twice every single day. And I'm going to recommend you do it on a hard surface if possible. It's okay if there's a carpet, but it's not really going to work very well on, say, a bed, unless you're really, really, really impaired and need a lot more support, but cushioning. Eventually, you're going to want to work on the actual floor, whether you have a yoga mat or not. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Lie down on your back. And you want to be able to lie fairly comfortably, just with your feet on the floor and your knees up. If this is too much, you're gonna work here for a while, okay? You want your back to relax down into the floor with your hips on the floor. Now I'm gonna show you the basic motion, but don't tune it out because basic is not gonna get you results. The basic motion is hug your knees as close to your chest as you can. Now, I happen to be able to get my knees to the chest. It could be that yours looks more like this. It's not a function of how close. You could even keep your knees together or take them apart. You could do whatever you want. But here's the parts that you need to keep in mind. When you hug your knees in, there's going to be a tendency for your hips to lift up. Okay, so people pull in and they lift up their hips. That's not going to release your low back. We need to release your back. So instead of lifting your tailbone, I want you to think about pressing your tailbone into the floor and think about your lower back widening onto the floor. So that as I pull my knees in, instead of, you see how my tailbone lifted, I'm actually going to lower my tailbone down, okay? You'll also notice that my knees are more in the vicinity of my chest than my shoulders, okay? Because with my tailbone down, my whole legs will be lower. Likewise, now some people are going to have a lot of challenges in their low back. Other people might have them in their upper back. Other people, it's going to be hips or even knees. But if you know that your challenge is in your upper back, meaning you round your spine a lot, another thing I want you to focus on is go ahead and instead of hugging like this, take your hands to your knees separately instead and pull your shoulders down to the back, okay? Or down to the mat, I should say. So now what I'm working on is long tailbone, shoulders down, and my whole body is working on flattening. At the same time, this is going to help to release my hips, because when my hips are tight, you know what your hip flexors do? A hip flexor is what pulls your knee closer to your chest, okay? But if I'm in standing, it also means that it's gonna pull your knee closer to your chest like this, okay? So you want your hip flexors to be nice and open so that your hip is not pulling you forward. Also, a lot of times, if it's hard for you to stand tall, it's because you have very tight hamstrings, right? The backs of your legs, because hamstrings and low back are both connected to your pelvis. So when my hamstrings are tight, they pull on my pelvis and they force my back to round, okay? So this simple exercise of lying down on a nice hard surface, hugging or holding, and trying to pull your tailbone long, your knees towards your chest, and perhaps even your shoulders towards the floor if you can do that. All of these things are going to help you to have a straighter, longer spine so you can stand or even sit taller. And remember, guys, that a long spine is a healthy spine, okay? Think of your spine literally as like your lifeline. Do you know that your spinal cord is made of the same gray matter as your brain? It's true. Your spine, besides the structural, physical that we all think about, skeletal aspects of supporting your body, is also a part of your brain. There's hardly anything more important in your body than taking care of that spine if you want to have a healthy, fulfilled life. So again, every morning, maybe every night before bed, you could even, if you're feeling crazy, do it once or twice in the middle of the day. But this simple exercise is going to help you to sit and stand taller and be more healthy in your spine. This is Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California. Be sure to drop any questions or comments below. I always answer them. Namaste.